banned from Buff Chen. And maybe Buff Chen will play that Alex Straza again. It definitely was very, very good that game. Keeping whatever target Varian was on alive with the Lifebinder was pretty impactful. Especially in that one team fight over the bottom tribute. Ana gets insta-banned again. That hero will never see the light of day until Blizzard nerfs her into the ground. Let's see how Minion Miners wants to take this draft. Tahaka gets banned again. Not quite his best map. I do think he's actually relatively weak on these points. Specifically, there are a couple shrine phases where it's hard for him to burrow in to be impactful. And the ETC getting banned again. I wonder if this will be the Alex Straza ban, seeing as they've played it twice. And it's been pretty good both games. Obviously they won the first one, but I don't think the Alex Straza was bad by any means, or the reason that they lost. Also probably one of her best maps, worth noting. But they ban the Muradin. Interesting. Definitely seems like both teams are prioritizing some pretty weird tanks. Diablo, Johanna, well, we've seen those heroes. They're not in the top end of the drafts. And Nubrak is nowhere to be seen. You got a minor buff, but that hero still has a cocoon. Nothing to scoff at. Sylvanas is going to get taken. Pretty good map for her. And then Minion Miners will take the Alex Straza this time. Probably the most contested healer we've seen all set.
Vanquish the weak.
And the Jaina is going to come back from. And it will be Sir Mac of Cheese. And let's see what Buff Chen picks up. Lucio, who made it past the ban phase this time, gets grabbed. And there's the Anubrak. So definitely a more mobile composition than what they've played before. Thinking about what they've played in addition to this, they could add maybe the Thrall on top of it. Would seem pretty good. I anticipate it might get banned, honestly. It did do a lot of work locking down the Varian. No, the Lunara is what gets banned. Interesting. The Lunara's Sylvanas combo. They didn't want to come back. And maybe a tank ban for Buff Chen. I guess we'll find out. Yep, Johanna will be banned, and they'll probably go, honestly, straight back into the Diablo. I imagine that. It's probably one of the. He's honestly one of the few main tanks left. I wouldn't be surprised to see Garrosh, considering they banned him when Alex Jaina was on the other side. But Falstad, Diablo getting picked up. Falstad was a pretty big factor in their win on the first game. Diablo, while not super impactful last game, seemed to know what he was doing with that lightning breath. So I'm hopeful for this composition so far. I wonder what the Soul Lane will look like. Thrall gets picked up again. And the last hero, maybe the Vala. Again with the Vala. Now, Asmodan is the last hero for Minion Miners. I can't help but feel like the Vala is going to be a liability in this composition. Maybe I'm still underestimating that hero, not valuing her buffs well enough. But especially with the Asmodan and the Diablo damage potential, it's going to be really hard to keep that Vala up with just Lucio healing. It's so slow. health pool so small, pretty much no mobility. Chen's the best offlaner right now. Yeah, definitely agreed. Unfortunately, not exactly an easy hero to play. Chen player is main tanking at the moment. Interesting. Kind of makes sense given the Chen portrait and the fact that his name is Middle Bear. Alright. Start mac and cheese on the mage again. On the Jaina, it would be Murderin on the Falstad, Urdak on Asmodan, Hemibo and Diablo, and Wesker and Alexstrasza. And then for Buff Chen, we got Thistledew on the Sylvanas, Kage TY on the Lucio, SVX on the Thrall, Sosa on Johanna, or what is that? Thrall? Yeah. And then Middle Bear on the new Brack. Or it's the Alexstrasza, excuse me. Sosa on the Alexstrasza. Alright, so just looking at the compositions, the shrine control is definitely, I think, in favor of Minion Miners. I think they have the Asmodan Poke and the Alexstrasza Dragon. They have a lot more means to be able to sit on the shrine and ask Buff Chen to leave. And they're going to rotate down to the bot lane where Sylvanas is defending. Interesting use of a Jaina W. And Paul's going to rotate up for the Falstad. Probably not going to get a pick. I imagine he has his E and he'll be okay. But he will have to tap. And both teams probably going to rotate to their siege camp right now. 26 stacks on Asmodan right now. That's actually pretty okay at this point in the game. Rotation made up to heal up Falstad. Thrall will be just fine, being able to sustain himself. Siege camps picked up for both teams as they head into level 3. And Asmo Q just helping them clear that camp. Definitely, I guess worth mentioning, Asmo Q a lot easier to dodge now with the movement speed changes. Haven't really noticed them too much in these last couple of games, but oh, and we got a pause from Weskra. I think is for Minion Miner. Yeah. Fix overlay. I'm not quite sure what's wrong with the overlay. I actually don't have like an overlay for the teams right now, so if that's what you're asking for, it's just not there yet. Alright, and we are back. I want a middle finger emoji. Jeez. Okay, and the bottom camp getting contested by Minion Miners. Jaina's going to back for some mana. Meanwhile, they missed a little bit of soak in the mid lane. Shouldn't be too much of an issue, but definitely got to make sure that they're catching all of the XP that they can. They did make up for it by capping that bot camp, but you can already see they're a little bit of a level behind, like a quarter of a level behind right now. But yeah, like we were saying, it's going to be a little bit harder for Asmodan to get stacked because of those movement speed changes. Just easier for people to dodge those Qs, but the minions shouldn't have any of an easier time. So both teams posturing around the shrine. Looks like Falstad out of mana, and will probably tap beforehand. And it looks like Minion Miners are gonna try and maybe be a little bit aggressive here. Falstad's still trying to soak the top lane, getting them both to level 7, and they see Falstad top. And they start to get aggressive on the Jaina. She does get a really big W on the Thrall. Doesn't quite fall down. And Nubarak's very low as well. Will the Asmodean Q come in to save the day? It's probably on cooldown. Alexstrasza Dragon gets popped. And Buff Chen is going to walk out. I always want to say Buff Arthas. Jeez. Buff Chen is going to walk out seeing the dragon. I think they are just going to be content with grabbing their Bruiser Camp and giving up this objective. It's relatively weak this early in the game. And kind of a expected casualty when you're playing against the Alexstrasza. Really big damage on the Sylvanas. I'm really not sure why she hasn't just run away. And Minion Miners doing a good job of delaying this. They're gonna try and make the most that they can with the maybe clear the Bruiser Camp up top before they finish the objective. Knowing that, Buff Chen is gonna make sure they have to respond to this. Falstad soaking the bot lane. Both teams level 7 right now. The top lane has been cleared by now. So I imagine Asmodean will grab that last minion, and he will. And for Minion Miners, actually going to be able to grab their Bruiser Camp to siege alongside with the Punisher. And the jump actually doesn't get baited over the wall, so it's actually going to do a fair amount of damage on this front wall. If Minion Miners can rotate down, the Jaina Blizzard comes down to get some siege. The Punisher is down, but the front wall actually took a lot more damage than it probably should have, if we're being honest. It looked like the Sylvanas player for Buff Chen maybe not quite quick enough with that rotation on the bot lane, or on the mid lane. Half a level lead here for Minion Miners. Yeah, the stacks on Asmodean are a little rough right now, but it's he's a hard hero to get stacked in a coordinated game like this. I think this is probably pretty average. They may be struggling a little bit to line up the wave clear with the Asmodean Qs, with the Jaina not being able to be quite as aggressive like you would play with like a Johanna, for example. But he's doing the best that he can. The stacks will come. And level 10 almost here for Minion Miners. I really hope they use this to maybe make some sort of an aggressive play on the bottom lane. Falstad having flown top can't really do much about it, but it looks like they're being a little bit passive. Guess maybe trying to catch some sort of a rotation. But Buff Chen doing a good job, not going to give it to him. They're just quietly soaking for level 10, and I think they'll get it off of this top wave. Trying to catch a rotation on a noob, but he has a burrow out. This is no thank you. And the heroics are all here. Again, we got Hinterland Blast for Falstad and the Lightning Breath from Diablo. So the Wombo combo potential with the Ring of Frost is not going to happen. Cleansing Flame from Alexstrasza this time. Maybe just to keep Diablo in that fight a little bit longer, considering he is that auto attack build. But the Cocoon is definitely going to be the biggest issue. There isn't a whole lot to break it. There's the Asmodean Laser and the Alexstrasza E, but nothing on demand. Nubarak with the maybe getting caught out here, and the Alexstrasza ult comes out. That's a big cooldown. Ring of Frost was used, but the Lucio Sound Barrier manages to keep everyone up, and that was a lot of heroics for both teams. I think probably a better trade for Buff Chen, considering they were the team that got caught out and only needed to use 2 heroics. Nubarak manages to escape. Diablo is not going to be as lucky. He actually goes down, and the Cocoon is going to be there to get a little bit of extra credit on the Asmodean. And there's no way he's making it out. Stunned out of the queue, doesn't even manage to get the stacks. And this is looking like a pretty nice objective for Buff Chen. I can't help but feel that after that initial engage, Minion Miners got a little bit too aggressive, looking for something there, and a really good positioning from Vala gets a pick on Jaina. That staggered death is definitely not going to do Minion Miners any favors. I think I would like to see Buff Chen maybe rotate to the siege camp over here and pick that up before the objective spawns. Did Diablo lose his souls? He did. That's going to be really rough for Minion Miners as well. But they do have the Alex Rosa still. I think it's very possible for them to still be able to take a team fight around level 16 to get back into this game. But they just have to play passively for now. Get Diablo stacked up. Try and mitigate, do as much damage control as they can for now. All the heroics are almost back up. And this Punisher shouldn't do too much as long as it's baited properly, which it is this time. Maybe not into the bottom tower, but Anubrak dives in maybe a little bit too far, but he's going to be okay. Diablo's got to be careful. He doesn't have that big of a health pool. The Alexstrasza Cleansing Flame comes out just to keep people alive, making sure she doesn't get jumped by the Anubrak. And maybe a Cocoon on the Jaina? Nope, it doesn't come. But the fort does fall, and level 13 is almost here. Really big Asmodean Q. Actually chunks a lot of the members of Buff Chen. Oh, and the Diablo Flip takes him out of the Hinterland Blast, but it's enough damage to get the kill on Thrall. Sylvanas will be able to walk away. The Lucio speed should be enough to get them out of there safely. And one does fall for Buff Chen, but they did manage to take the fort and grab level 13, so all is good. Definitely a good defense from Minion Miners. They were able to not basically lose no damage on their front wall in the bottom lane. And Diablo managed to get about half of his souls back there. So again, level 16 is going to be where this game is going to get contested at. Falstad with the bribe is going to maybe not bribe any of these minions, and they're just going to take this camp on their own. And both teams grabbing their bruiser camp. Not looking to fight right now. And man, these team fights, I can't help but feel like in that fight over the bot lane that started this whole exchange was maybe just Minion Miners being a little bit too aggressive. Alexstrasza misses her life blossom, unfortunately, but she should be alright. And meanwhile, Asmodean, 210 stacks right now. He is going to be doing a lot of damage. His last couple team fights, he's hit a lot of heroes with these Qs. And getting some good stacks. And Sylvanas is going to be pushing in the top lane. The rotation is there, but Jaina is not going to be there to defend. Front wall will go down, which is really nice for Buff Chen. Maybe they can take away this fountain as well to make sure that it's not up for the objective. And they do. Thrall gets caught out again, but the Lucio Sound Barrier is there to save him. Cocoon is coming out on the Jaina. Alexstrasza ult is here, and a really big hindering blast hits everyone. Jaina falls, but it looks like maybe the Lucio should be able to get everybody out. A flip onto Vala, and she will get picked as well. Sound Barrier was definitely very good in that team fight, but it just quite wasn't enough. Maybe should have been a little bit earlier to keep Thrall up, but I think he's overstepped quite a bit into that Diablo charge. And looking at the quests now, Jaina about halfway done with her ice block. That's probably pretty normal this stage in the game. Vala actually no stacks on her Creed of the Hunter. This is probably why you see a lot more people go W build as opposed to the full on auto attacks. But the auto attacks do kind of make sense. There's a few big bodies to stack on with the Diablo and the Asmodean. Anubrak taking some damage, but he'll be okay. Alexstrasza healing is there. Surprise, neither team has gotten on this altar. There's going to be no... is there a dragon, actually? I'm not quite sure. There is a dragon for Alexstrasza still. Very few heroics on the side of Minion Miners, though. And Minion Miners will walk away. It looks like they're going to try and get back onto the point on their own terms. Level 16 for both teams. Vala gets caught out, and she takes a bunch of damage. The Lucio sound barrier is there. Jaina gets cocooned. Just long enough for them to take down Diablo. Falstad goes down to the Thrall. Jaina will probably be able to make it out with the help of Alex. And a really good team fight for Buff Chen. Again, it came down to Vala getting caught out, and they used a lot of resources, specifically a sound barrier, to keep her up, and Diablo maybe overextending just a little bit, losing his souls very unfortunately, like right after he got them. And losing souls this late in the game is going to be really, really rough for Minion miners. Looks like they're going to maybe push out this bottom lane as much as they can. And Buff Chen leaving this shrine up. They don't quite have the Asmodean to just grab that last minion real quick, so Minion miners maybe trying to get a pick here. Lucio's been caught out. The Diablo reset is there, and the Hinterland Blast is just so late. I can't help but feel like that should have been a kill on Lucio. Stunned out of his sound barrier. And there's a very good cocoon on the Alexstrasza. It does get broken pretty instantly, but our team might be in trouble here. The E is enough to get them out. Everybody is low on the side of Minion miners, and that is 1. 2 get taken out. And the cocoon into the Wailing Arrow was just so powerful with the Punisher to follow up on all of that CC. And this should be a keep for Buff Chen. They have the Bruiser Camp pushing with it as well. Sylvana should be able to turn the fort off, maybe save the Punisher health a little bit. Jaina gets caught out. That's a lot of CC on her, but Alexstrasza has the heals. Is it enough? No, it's not. Jaina will fall, and that staggered death might be enough for them to end the game. And it looks like they're going to try and go for core. There's 3 dead, but 2 will be back up relatively quickly. Asmodean probably won't be able to do a hell of a lot on core, and Falstad gets pretty instantly deleted. That's so much damage on core already. Vala and Sylvanas on the backside are pretty much uncontested. Thrall is getting pretty low, but I don't think it's going to matter. Everyone is still so healthy for Buff Chen, and they are going to manage to take game 2.